Do not set any new goals, New Year's resolutions. Don't do it. Oh, I know so many people are encouraging New Year's, new goals, 2025, the new you. Don't do it until you've done what I've been recommending year in and year out. And that's this: to reflect. I know it sounds so simple, but man, very few people will do it. Reflect on your year with intentionality. Reflect on 2024. Reflect on your accomplishments. Reflect on your learnings. Reflect on all that you've done, and make sure you gain the wisdom, the insight that can inform what you're going to do in 2025. So that is the message. Reflect. Reflect on your year. Reflect with intentionality and do the hard work that will give you all that you need to set some goals and some intentions and some priorities that will serve you at your highest level in 2025. That's the theme of this entire video that I'm sending out during this time of year, because it is such a great time to reflect. Now, I believe we should reflect all the time. However, this is a great season to stop and reflect on the entire year. So how do you do that? Many of you have seen videos I've done in the past, and you have an idea, but let me give you a few things to look at to reflect well. One thing is your calendar. Look at all your appointments. Write down who you are meeting with. You really want to look with boldness and reality at your appointments. Which ones were serving you? Which ones added value to your life? Which ones brought joy to you? Which ones encouraged you? Which ones spoke truth with candor into your life? I mean, you want to surround yourself with more of that in 2025. And then, there were some appointments that maybe didn't add value to you. There were some people you met with in relationships that just weren't continuing to move you forward. And that's where we've got to have the boldness, the courage, the candor to really evaluate those. So you want to look at your calendar, your appointments, who you're meeting with, what companies you're meeting with, what big events you had on your calendar. And often, to really look at your events really well, I often tell people to, just open up your pictures on your phone and scroll through. You may be scrolling for a long time. Don't get too distracted in the scrolling. But scroll through it to remind yourself of those things and those events and those things that happen. Write them down where you can see them all on a piece of paper. Often we forget some of the big events we had in the year just because we keep moving. The other thing I encourage people to look at is their finances. Open up your bank accounts. Numbers don't lie. Remember, a leader's first responsibility is to define reality. So how are your numbers? Did you meet your budget goals? Did you meet your financial goals? And if you didn't, it's okay. That's what we need to inform and navigate for the next year. If you did, great. How do we navigate from there for the next year? Other things, that I really encourage you. How were you in your spiritual growth? How did you do on your spiritual disciplines? How did you do on your health disciplines? How did you do in your relational disciplines? Many of you know, for the last 3 years, usually my marriage is at the top of my gratitude list. But man, it's been very difficult when we've stretched into living fulfilled farms and having the preschool and my business, and our kids are growing, and it wasn't at the top of the list. So with intention over this last year, luckily, I shouldn't say luckily, with intention and with lots of purpose and action over the past 3, 4 to 6 months, our marriage has been nurtured to where we have a lot more in the emotional bank account. But that came from our reflections over the past 2 years and seeing what was happening that was draining those bank accounts. And we both knew, our reactions to one another didn't have, the same emotional bank account that it had before. And so we built those up. And that's what comes from reflecting and then setting your intentions and your goals for the year. So I encourage you, reflect, define reality, evaluate where you are. I rate everything on a scale of 0 to 10. Where was I? I think I want to change that to 0 to 5 this next year, because I had a lot of 4 to 6s, and it's in between. Like, what would I do if it was a scale of 0 to 5? Maybe they were 3s, 2s. Some people say when you evaluate yourself, you can't even use a 5, or a 4 to 6. You've got to go one way or the other. Those things are just super important to really define reality so that you can walk in wisdom. And then, after you've done that, what are your main habit goals? What are your main priorities? What areas do you want to focus on moving forward for 2025 based on the reality and the insights that you gained from your reflections? So with that, I hope everyone lives a strong life. I hope everyone leads with strength in this next year and makes the adjustments necessary to live an extraordinary life that is just decision and intentionality away from where we are today. Let's keep that for 2025. I look forward to taking this journey with you.